Sometimes I got questions from people asking me, Snowy, how do you manage your family, 4 kids, and the business, and your marriage at the same time? I'm pretty sure that they expected me to say, I have great time management, or I planned everything perfectly. But the truth is, I don't have it all together. I just cannot afford to fall. If you are a full-time mom and you try to grow or develop your career, your business, you understand what I meant. I just wanted to show you one day in my life while my husband is away from the house. My dad is not at home with me. Pretty much, my alarm would start at 6:15, but most of the time my life alarm would wake me up at 6 a.m. By about 6:20, I will be in the kitchen getting the breakfast and the lunch that my 3 little ones need to bring to school. Just because none of my kids like the food from school. They are so picky that it's hard for them to choose to eat at school. Like my son, he doesn't like pizza. He likes macaroni and cheese, chicken nuggets, fries, and pretty much nothing else. Sometimes I make some sushi with spam. That's the rice with spam. He doesn't eat anything else. And there are not so many choices for him to choose. And my girls too, they don't like a lot of meals from the school. So we have no choice but pack them lunch for them to take to school every day. And remember, I deposit about $40 into their account for lunch or breakfast a few years ago. And I believe each of them probably spent $3 or $4 after a few years later. At about 6:35 a.m., I would go up to their bedrooms and wake them up, and that's the wake up battle starts. Our second daughter and third daughter, they're pretty easy. They would get up after 2 times of wake up by us. Our son, oh my, a lot of the mornings, it's so difficult. Sometimes we had to wake him up 4 times or 5 times, 6 times, and each time he would say, 5 more minutes, 10 more minutes. And the last time, probably he was still struggling and tried to stay longer and said, 1 more minute after 6 or 7 times waking up. So usually we had to come upstairs and wake him up every 5 or 10 minutes. And sometimes he probably would get up at 7:20. That would be so difficult for all of us because we have to leave home at 7:30, and that means he only got about 10 minutes to get everything ready. And sometimes he would even cry because he didn't want to go to school. He wanted to sleep a little bit longer. And after waking them up, we had to urge them, come on, get changed, get ready for school, and brush your teeth, wash your face, get some breakfast, wash your hair. And by 7:30, we mostly are out of door. But sometimes we even couldn't go till 7:35. That means they might be a little bit late, depending on the traffic on the way there. Usually, it's about 7:50 or 7:52, sometimes 7:55 when they were dropped off at school. Then, if I'm lucky, there's any spot available at my Pilates class, I would go to squeeze one class after sending them to school, starting at 8:30, but the spots are not available every day. Then I go straight home and get myself ready for working, and most of the time, it's not easy. Sometimes I might even didn't have time for my lunch, or I will grab something really easy, fast, so I can get a lot of emails or phone calls or text message done. This isn't discipline, I would call it survival. Because if I don't move my body in the morning, I won't have a single minute later. And then about 3 a.m., I need to hop on the car and line up to pick my kids up from school at about 3:30. Usually, the afternoon traffic is not that nice, long lines, and it will be about 3:45 to 3:50, sometimes even 4 o'clock when we get home. Our 2 older daughters are way much easier. They already built up their habit to get their homework done once they get home after taking some snacks and drink. Sometimes they even finish their homework on the way home in the car. I remember we didn't need to spend too much time to train them to do so. Our second daughter and third daughter, they were able to do that before they finished the first grade. So it was so easy. And also our oldest daughter, she knew how to finish their homework as fast as possible after they got back from school. But our son is totally different. We still have headache right now to get him do his homework after getting back from school. He's at his second grade right now. It's a completely different story for him. Once we get home, the first thing he would do is to play, run upstairs, get out some of his toys and start running everywhere, upstairs, downstairs, and sometimes go outside to the backyard or to the front yard. The last thing he would like to do is his homework. I remember at the beginning of his second grade, the first few weeks, I had to sit next to him till maybe 6 o'clock, sometimes even 7 o'clock, just to get his writing and math homework done. But there's also 20 minutes reading every day. That's his headache too. He doesn't like any reading at all. It makes him anxious. Once thinking about reading, he would get so upset and grumpy. Sometimes he would even cry that why do I have to read every day? So he would keep delay and negotiate with us, trying his best to skip reading. And most of the time, reading is still a battle between me and him. And also our daughters, they like art class. So Monday and Wednesday, each of them had one class after school. So we have to pick them up at 5 o'clock. Every Thursday, our son has jiu-jitsu class starting from 5:30 to 6:30. So pretty much every day from Monday to Thursday after 3 o'clock, I cannot have any time for myself, for my work. Sometimes I could only pick up some phone calls or reply the text message between now and then, but I don't have time to spend on my computer from that time frame. So some days I would squeeze some of my time to go to my Pilates class while waiting them for their jiu-jitsu class after I drop them off and pick them up. So I have 15 minutes for myself, but many days I don't have at all. And dinner? While my dad is not at home, fast food or quick meals are my choice. Sometimes I also got a lot of pre-made meals from the grocery store, and I could easily reheat them and get some meals ready really fast. And I really don't have too much time to cook vegetables. As you know, we Asian like vegetables a lot, so I have to replace them with tomatoes or some fruit that I could just eat them after simply washing them, because I really don't have enough time to prepare the food and cook the food. So this isn't efficiency. This is doing what is necessary. Pretty much a lot of people already knew that our secret weapon to our success it's my parents. Some people probably don't know us very well would say, hey, Snowie or Zach, you are so amazing. You do everything. Most of the time, we would tell them, no, we are not that great at all. We are just ordinary people. We are not able to do everything on our own. We can do what we do now just because my parents lived with us almost 11 years before our third child was born. My dad drive the kids to school, pick them up from schools, pick them up from anywhere they need to be picked up or drive to, like after school activities such as their jiu-jitsu class, their art class, and take care of them 24/7 when me and Zach have to travel around to visit our properties to check any of the possibilities or opportunities coming up, or working with the teams or doing any due diligence that we cannot come back for the nights or even a few nights a week. We don't need to worry about that. There is nobody taking care of our kids, and nobody would do that like you would do for your kids, except your parents, their grandmas and grandpas, because they solved almost 90% of our worries. So we could focus on building our business, our company, our team, chasing deals, closing deals, managing deals, raising funds, going to all kinds of real estate activities, conferences, and visit our properties, running the business. Without them, there is no A strategy. There is no Zach or Snowy doing it all. We don't do it all ourselves. It's impossible at all. So what does it really take for a woman to grow? Being a wife is a full-time job. Being a mom is also a full-time job, especially you have more than one kid. That full-time job is even more difficult. And being an entrepreneur is also a full-time job. Of course, right? Really, women don't balance these roles at all. It's impossible. We sacrifice in ways that no one would see, especially with our 4 kids. And of course, especially with our business. And it's not that I'm strong, it's that I have to be. So when people ask, how do you manage everything? My answer is always simple. I just keep walking forward because there are too many people depending on me, my kids, my parents. So if you are a mom trying to grow, a woman trying to build something, you just need to remember, we don't need perfection, we don't need balance. We just need to keep going a little bit more, one day at a time. And if you need help, please do not forget or do not hesitate to ask for help. Your parents, your spouse, even your kids who is a little bit older, that they can help a little bit. Like right now, my husband has to stay in California for a little bit for our project over there. I am all alone with my 4 kids. Of course, our oldest one, that she is so independent right now that we don't even need to worry about too much about her. She can drive herself, and she also has a part-time job after her study, and she finished her online school all by herself. And she is a good child. And sometimes I do need help. Like last Saturday, I had to go to Mississippi for some emergency situation. I booked the ticket and I had to go right away Saturday morning after waking up. And I told her, can you help me to take care of your other 3 siblings and your grandma at home? She took them to the restaurant for lunch and they came back. They did some dinner together and she took her Sunday off from her part-time job so that she could help me to take care of the other 3 little kids. And she even took them to the grocery store to get some grocery and she made dinner with them and they had dinner together till I arrived home at about 8:45 Sunday evening. And tomorrow too, I have an event here in Houston that I cannot send my son to his Saturday jiu-jitsu class at 11 o'clock. I asked my oldest daughter to help me to send him over there because their daddy is not at home, their grandpa is not at home, and my mom doesn't drive. Don't feel that you are alone. A lot of people like you, like me, like the other women in the world, we are not that strong. We just try our best and ask for help when needed. And one day you will look back and realize you became way much stronger than you ever realized. And I believe you can do it too. Let's do it together. Believe in yourself.